Sherwin Williams, founded in 1866, is one of the oldest and most respected companies in the United States. As North America's largest paint and coatings manufacturer, Sherwin Williams has created LifeShield engineered systems to show its commitment to not only improving life, but also to protecting lives. LifeShield technologies are designed to increase the level of protection for people and property against intentional or accidental explosive threats. LifeShield products are used in conjunction with anchoring systems designed by the blast and structural engineering community for the specific needs of a project. A wide variety of anchoring and mounting combinations have been tested in more than 100 live blast tests. This installation video provides contractors and installers with a general set of guidelines for installing LifeShield panel technologies. Illustrated in this video are methods that have been tested in live blast conditions. Due to the variety of fasteners and anchors that are specified by engineers, not all combinations can be specifically addressed. All projects are unique, and it is expected that contractors or installers will utilize their expertise and experience to fine-tune the installation to job site requirements. There will always be a certain amount of craftsmanship required to achieve the final appearance that the customer expects. LifeShield products are available in three forms: spray applied, opaque gray panels for walls, and clear security panels for windows. This video will demonstrate the installation of our patent-pending panel technology for opaque wall panels and clear window panels. The LifeShield panels are lightweight and easy to install in 5 simple steps. 1. Measuring and layout of the walls and LifeShield panels. 2. Forming a 90-degree flange at the ends of the panel for anchoring into the building structure. 3. Drilling holes into the structure and panels. 4. Mounting the panels into the structure. And 5. Finishing details and examples. Standard construction safety precautions should be taken during the installation of LifeShield panels. Sherwin Williams and LifeShield engineered systems are committed to worker and workplace safety. We will first demonstrate the installation of LifeShield wall panels, followed by the LifeShield clear security panels. Measure the wall for exact height and width needed. The length of the flanges to be created will need to be added to either the height or width as appropriate. Very frequently, the walls are not square and the floor or ceiling not level. Accurate measuring will allow you to make the proper adjustments and increase the ease of installation. Mechanically fastened LifeShield panels are commonly installed under tension. This means that the panels will be flanged short, allowing the anchoring system to pull the panels tight. This eliminates slack and provides for a better-looking finished product. During the layout, make sure to take into account the additional length required by the formation of the flange at both ends. For example, a half-inch radius on each end adds 3/4 of an inch to the total length required. On the panel, first mark the true height of the wall, including the additional length from flanges and the radius. To lay out a panel that fits the space, create the flange line. This is the center line of where the radius will be formed on each end of the opaque LifeShield panel. This length allows for a close fit of a flanged panel in the structure, but not a short panel fitted neatly in tension. The flange line is 3/8 of an inch from each side. To lay out a short panel, as shown in this diagram, one method is to decrease the overall distance between the true height of the wall by 1 to 1.5 inches. This means making a second line, the short flange line, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch inside, shorter than the true height of the wall line on each side. Make this line with a permanent marker or chalk line. Measure the panel from one side to keep the panel square. LifeShield wall panels can be cut and trimmed with a razor knife, electric shears, nibbler, jigsaw, or a circular saw. Choose your cutting tool with the end result in mind. Poor choices lead to bad edges. Make sure tools are kept sharp and clean. To begin flanging, first identify which panel side is the interior surface. Opaque wall panels have labels on the exterior surface, the side that faces the existing wall. It is important to form a smooth radius, avoiding a sharp crease when flanging the panel. Panels will be bent to a finished angle of 90 degrees. Allow the heat tray to heat up for at least 5 minutes at a setting of 75 to 80%. Lay the panel flat against the heating tool to be sure it heats evenly. Use caution with hot surfaces and do not overheat the panel. Check occasionally that the panel is becoming flexible as it heats up. Once the panel is flexible enough to bend, remove it from the heat tray. Immediately place the forming tool on the radius marks of the softened panel. Then, bend the panel against the forming tool at an angle of 110 degrees. Clamp into place using a flat bar to get even pressure across the width of the entire panel. Once the panel is cool, unclamp the flange and it will relax to 90 degrees. The quality of the flange angle is important to the overall quality and appearance of the installation. Using the proper equipment and forming tool will ensure that the panel is bent to the proper angle. Overheating the panel can cause cracking, discoloration, or a sharp crease in the flange. The fastening system is dependent on the designs created by your engineering firm. Use engineered installation or shop drawings to measure the location where holes need to be drilled in both the structure and the flange of the LifeShield wall panel. A template can be used to ensure the holes align properly with the metal plates. Different template methods can be used. The pre-drilled clamping plate, as shown here, can be used as a guide. Or clear plastic can be used to transfer the pattern of holes to the structure, as seen in these pictures. The template can also be used to transfer the pattern of holes to the LifeShield panel. Drilling holes into the LifeShield panels can be done with standard drill bits. A hole saw or spade bit works well. Check the clamping plate to make sure the edge is smooth or rounded. There should be no sharp or rough edges that could damage or cut the panels. File or grind the edges of the plate as required. To mount the panels, simply lift the panels into place and install clamping plates and anchors per project requirements. Most often, panels are attached at the top, as shown here. Install enough anchors to safely let the panel hang. Make sure that the panel is aligned properly so that the flange radius at the top of the panel fits the intersection of the wall with the slabs. Add the bottom clamping plate and bolts to maintain the alignment of the panel and to keep it square. Finish anchoring the top. Pull the short panel until taut by tightening the bottom attachments, completing the panel mounting. Occasionally, the holes pre-drilled into the panels or clamping plate do not line up with the holes drilled into the structure. The clamping plate and panel hole can be made oversized, but care must be exercised. As shown in these installations, the use of larger or square washers can provide acceptable hole coverage. Shown here are improper anchorage of oversized holes. There are two methods for seaming LifeShield panels: butt seam and overlap seam. A standard overlap is 2 to 4 inches. To prepare the overlap, both sides must be cleaned and free from dirt, grease, and oil. Use our plural component adhesive in the overlap. Plan the work accordingly as the adhesive cures very fast. For butt seams, a thoroughly tested elastomeric seam tape can be supplied by LifeShield engineered systems. It is important to avoid wrinkles, as that will affect the final appearance of the wall. Walls often have penetrations. To accommodate wall switches and electrical outlets, the same techniques that are used with gypsum board can be used. Cut the proper size hole in the panel and place the panel over the switch or outlet opening. As shown in this example, additional strength can be achieved by using the LifeShield adhesive to glue a piece of LifeShield panel around the perimeter of the hole. To accommodate pipes, conduit, and ducts, the panel can be slit to slip over the pipe. Repairing the slit is accomplished by using LifeShield adhesive to glue a piece of LifeShield panel across the slit. To incorporate the panels with a door opening, it's best to remove the frame and wrap the panel around the edge of the opening. Fasten the panel to the wall and replace the casement and molding. Finishing details. Various construction adhesives can be troweled on or applied to the panels to provide adhesion between the panel and the wall. This can create aesthetic benefits without compromising performance. The opaque panels should be painted or covered, as they will yellow over time. Painting, applying wallpaper, and using gypsum board are three different techniques. Carpet, tile, or other floor coverings can be used to easily cover the clamping plate. A cove base or molding can also be used to cover the clamping plate. To hide the upper clamp plate, ceiling tiles or trim pieces can be used. The installation of LifeShield clear security panels is similar to the opaque wall panels, with some important exceptions. Cleanliness of the work area and the window space is critical so the panels do not become dirty or damaged. An air gap needs to be created between the clear panel and the glass surface. This airspace reduces the occurrence of Newton rings, which may form where the panel comes in contact with the window. Curtain wall and glazing consultants are available to address issues that are project and building specific. Like the LifeShield opaque wall panels, mechanically fastened LifeShield clear panels are commonly installed under tension. This means that the panels will be flanged short, allowing the anchoring system to pull the panels tight into tension. This eliminates slack and provides for a better-looking finished product. During the layout, take into account the additional distance required by forming a radius and the flange at each end of the panel. Verify the window dimensions first. On the clear panel, mark the true height of the glass. Allow for the additional length from the flange and the radius at each end of the panel. Do not use a chalk line when working with clear panels. To lay out a panel that fits the window space, create the flange line at each end of the panel. The flange line is the center line of where the radius will be formed. This length allows for a close fit of a flanged panel in the window space, but not a short panel fitted neatly by tension. The flange line is about 3/8 of an inch from each side. To lay out a short panel as shown in this diagram, one method is to decrease the overall distance between the true height of the glass lines by 1 to 1.5 inches overall. This means making a second line, the short flange line, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch inside or shorter than the true height of the glass line on each side. Make this line with a permanent marker, measuring the panel from one side to keep the panel square. LifeShield clear panels can be cut with a razor knife, circular saw, or nibbler. Electric shears work particularly well. Whatever the choice, care must be exercised not to scratch the panel while cutting. Identify which panel side is the interior surface. Clear window panels have labels on the interior surface, the side facing the inside of the room. It will be extremely important to form a smooth radius, not a sharp crease. A properly formed radius will not deform the LifeShield clear panel when viewed on edge. The clear window panels come with a protective liner to reduce scratching during shipping and handling. Peel back the protective liner at least 3 inches past the flanging marks. This ensures that the protective liner will not melt while forming the flange. To prepare for flanging, first peel back only the PET laminate layer on the interior surface of the panel. Use a clamped straight edge to be sure that the laminate does not peel back any further than required. Pull slowly and carefully to the flanging mark or short flanging mark. Cut the PET laminate carefully with a hook razor knife, being careful not to cut into the LifeShield panel. If the PET is pulled back too far or delaminates, it can be carefully smoothed back into place. Use a light spray application of water on the debonded area. Squeegee the laminate back into place and allow it to dry. The clear panels will be bent to a finished angle of 90 degrees. Allow the heat tray to heat up for at least 5 minutes at a setting of 50%. Lay the panel flat against the heating tool to be sure it heats evenly. Use caution with hot surfaces and do not overheat the panel. Check occasionally that the panel is becoming flexible as it heats up. Once the panel is flexible enough to bend, remove it from the heat tray. Immediately place the forming tool on the radius marks of the softened panel. Then, bend the panel against the forming tool at an angle of 110 degrees. Do not drag the forming tool into place. Clamp the flange into place using a flat bar to get even pressure across the entire width of the panel. Once the panel is cool, unclamp the flange and it will relax to 90 degrees. The quality of the angle formed is important to the overall quality of the installation. Using the forming tool will ensure that the panel is bent to the proper angle. Be careful not to overheat the panels. Make sure not to crease the panels when forming the flange. Drilling holes into the LifeShield clear panels can be done with most standard drill bits. A hole saw and spade bit work well. As with the opaque panels, it is advised to use a template. The fastening system is dependent on the designs created by your engineering firm. Shown here are various alternatives and concepts. In all cases, there is an air gap to keep the panel from touching the glass. Similar to the opaque wall panels, simply lift the short panels into place and install clamping plates and anchors per project requirements. Check the clamping plate to make sure the edge is smooth or rounded. There should be no sharp or rough edges that could damage or cut the panels. Another concept is the use of a unitized panel for punched windows. An example is this one built by Harman Incorporated. The LifeShield clear panel is attached to a frame at the factory and comes to the job site ready for installation. The frame is inserted into the window space and attached to the structure. Fasteners and anchors will be specified by your engineering firm based on their load calculations. Clear and opaque panels can be used together to form a continuous protective membrane on the infill wall. Many different techniques are possible depending on the requirements of the building's owner, architect, and engineer. Here we demonstrate some possibilities. The opaque wall and clear window panels can be connected mechanically in the flange area to form one continuous system. It is also possible to flange all 4 sides of the clear panel for total containment. As shown here, the clear and opaque panels can be integrated completely. A continuous sheet design is possible by incorporating the opaque wall panels and clear panels in one sheet, as we demonstrate here. This creates an air gap the width of the frame. The clamping plate is then placed over the bolts and the installation completed. In this approach, using the unitized frame developed by Harman Incorporated, one edge of the unitized frame is bolted to the panel and the other edge is bolted to the structure. Another installation concept is the use of VHB tape to adhere the perimeter of the Life Shield panels directly to the glass. This method can be used in combination with mechanical fasteners or with secondary protection systems such as cables or bars as designed by an engineer. The air gap can be created and maintained through the use of anchor position and physical elements such as VHB tape, spacer dots, extruded edge gaskets, or metal extrusions. Likewise, panel edges or butt seams can be finished with metal trim, such as C-channel and H-channel, extruded edge gaskets, structural sealant, or caulk. It's easy to match the decor of the window frame using standard finishing details such as extruded caps and trim, which completely hide the anchoring system. This video demonstrates only some of the installation and attachment methods that have been tested by Life Shield engineered systems. As each project is unique and has its own threat criteria, not every consideration, parameter, or design criterion can be validated. It is highly recommended that every specific project have its design and installation drawings created by a qualified structural or blast engineering firm. Life Shield technologies can be installed in numerous ways, as the material technology is designed to be bent and cut to accommodate structural irregularities. An approved contractor has the basic skills to form and install the panels according to engineered designs and specifications.